I've been having a real bad smell lately. So I just went in the basement, opened the basement door, and there's a tarp, and what looks like it could be blood leaking from it. And I want the police to come here ASAP right now and look at it.
And it's like watching a horror movie.
Please, for somebody right now, because I don't know what it is, but it looks like blood is leaking from it. And I'm not going to touch the tarp or anything like that.
They look at the tarp, see something that they will never ever forget.
See, some skin there. So let's put everybody back out.
And so then the officers clear back up the stairs.
When officers unzipped the bag, what they found inside was far more gruesome than they ever imagined.
And we then discover the body of a woman with the arms and legs and head missing. And I remember thinking, who are we dealing with here? You know, what kind of animal does this to a person?
It's all bloody in here.
911, what's your emergency, please?
I think Amy has been murdered.
Ashley Regina Marie Young was vibrant, kind, and deeply trusting. On November 28, 2018, she visited someone from her past. They visited a lounge, then a bar, then back to his apartment. But the next morning, Ashley was nowhere to be found.
We were going to go look at this apartment, and Ashley wasn't responding to anything. None of my calls, none of my texts. It was not like her at all.
At first, it's just an adult not returning her mom's calls after a night out. Nothing unusual. Until you learn Ashley had just broken up with her longtime partner, Moody Farhan, moved out, and was supposed to sign a lease for her new place the next morning. She was excited, focused, and this wasn't like her. There were other red flags too. On the night of disappearance, when her mom texted asking where she was, Ashley did reply, but something about the message just didn't feel right.
She said that she was almost to her destination. That's not Ashley. Ashley would say, you know,
I'm at Walmart or
yeah, wherever she was, but she said destination.
Detectives' first suspicion falls on Moody, Ashley's ex. It's a painful truth, but in most cases like this, the person closest to the victim is often the first suspect. Moody appears genuinely distraught when he hears the news, and after confirming his alibi, detectives clear him as a suspect. With no suspects and no sign of her daughter, Kristine does the only thing she can. She turns to social media, hoping someone knows something.
I put out on Facebook that I haven't heard from her, can't get in contact with her. I asked her friends, acquaintances, anybody, if you have seen her, contact me.
While scrolling through Ashley's Facebook, Kristine spots something, a new lead that could change everything.
Kristine goes into her daughter's Facebook activity and is able to see that she's been communicating with a person named Jared Chance in recent days.
I had no clue she was with him. When I found out, I was livid.
Jared didn't just have a minor record. A few years earlier, he broke into Ashley's apartment and stole money, computers, and more. In the wake of her breakup with Moody, Ashley was just starting to dip her toes back into dating, and she was excited about Jared. She even left a voicemail for a friend, talking about it.
Jared is so hard to read, but I know that if he was my boyfriend and he actually was in love with me, I know he would be amazing. I cannot wait to see him on Wednesday.
Wednesday, November 28th, the night Ashley disappeared. Desperate for answers, Kristine calls Jared, hoping he knows something about Ashley's disappearance.
Hello, Jared. My name is Kristine Young. I'm looking for my daughter. She was last with you. Is she with you? She needs to contact me. Tell her that I'm going to contact the police department to do a missing person.
Jared tells him and Ashley went to a place called Mulligan's Bar that night, but left separately. He also adds something else. Ashley was seen talking to a man named Demetrius Taylor. Kristine tracks down Demetrius Taylor herself, and what he tells her changes everything.
When we got there, he's like, I don't know, Ashley. I don't know your daughter at all. And he opened up his phone and showed the text messages where Jared said, hey, Ashley's mom's gonna call you, and you have to say that Ashley was just with you, and you guys were just together. And Kristine was reading it, and she's like, no.
It just became more and more plain that Jared was trying to stall.
Just as Kristine prepares to confront Jared herself, a 911 call comes in, and it changes everything.
I've been having a real bad smell lately, so I just went in the basement, opened the basement door, there's a turd, and what looks like it could be blood leaking from it. And I want the police to come here ASAP right now and look at it.
Alright, so it's the lower level apartment?
Yes, please, there's somebody right now, because I don't know what it is, but it looks like blood is leaking from it. And I'm not going to touch the type or anything like that. My upstairs neighbor, he's been in the basement, and we live in an apartment. The basement is normally locked.
Alright, do you know where that tenant is that was there?
No, I don't.
Okay. Did you know what his name is?
His name Jared Chance.
Did you call? For the last couple of days, our apartment just had this real bad smell, you know what I'm saying? So I go in the basement to check the pipes, see if the sewage that flooded or something. Yeah. It's nothing, but it's a type at the end of the stairs I stepped over. But when I come back, I'm shining my flashlight, and it looks like some blood is leaking from it. And I ain't gonna touch it, because I don't want to lift that and see none of that.
Mario went downstairs to look around, and that's when he saw the tarp, saw the stuff coming out of the tarp, and then hightailed it out of here. Did you happen to touch that tarp?
No,
okay.
no,
Did she touch the tarp?
no, she ain't even go down there. It was just me.
Okay.
Yep, but that's what I'm saying. When I'm
Who's this Jared Chance guy?
That's the guy who lives upstairs.
He lives upstairs.
Yeah, this is Jared Chance. This him.
Okay.
The tenant also confirms he saw Ashley with Jared.
That's the girl we're talking about. That's what well, we don't know that she's missing. We don't know. Make sure she ain't under there.
Have you ever seen the person that they're talking about?
I seen her like a couple days ago when I went up there. Like he told me to come up there and smoke with him. So I just remember his white female, kind of chubby.
Okay.
You know, like she was a little
Dark
chubby.
hair.
Maybe like brunette, maybe like brownish red.
He had a girl over. She was kind of heavy set. Had a white sweater on, some black leggings, and some brownish colored boots. She seemed pleasant. Didn't seem to be in any distress. Did he say how he knew her?
He said what I say. I was like, I you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you finna hit it because I ain't never seen her before.
Right.
He like, no, I'm just finna woo out. She's finna leave in a couple seconds because I got somebody else coming over.
Did you see her leave, or did you?
No.
You left first.
Yeah, I left.
Did you ever see her leave?
Nope.
Did she come in that Focus?
Yep.
That was her car.
Yep.
About 2 days later, Jared came down and asked Mario, "Hey, the keys are locked in the ignition of this car, the Focus. Can you help me get the door open?" You notice anything weird in the car?
Man, it was messy. It was like, you know, I'm a person, I try to mind my business, you know what I'm saying? So I try not to be all, you know, my girlfriend, she be, you know, out the window all the time.
Right, right.
So, like, I'd never, honestly, God, if it wasn't for her, I never would even, because, like, when he called, when he knocked on the door, I don't even answer. I just let him, like, forget it, because he normally high off weed and Xanax, you know what I'm saying? I can't have a conversation with nobody like that.
So was that Ford Focus or deceased then, I imagine? That's what I'm assuming.
He sent me a message a couple days ago, like, if somebody come looking for me, don't tell them I ain't here.
Okay. He said that to you?
Yeah, in text message.
A couple of days ago he said that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Officers walk into the basement, and what they find is something straight out of a horror movie.
And it's like watching a horror movie, because they're going through this darkened basement that's lit by flashlights. They look at the tarp and see something that they will never ever forget.
At the bottom of the stairs, officers spot a large canvas bag. Blood is seeping from it, trailing across the floor. When they lean in closer, they notice an opening in the side of the bag.
I can see some skin there, so let's step everybody back out.
And so then the officers clear back up the stairs.
So this tarp was quite large and it had a zipper on it. I unzipped the bag, and we then discovered the body of a woman with the arms and legs and head missing. I remember thinking, who are we dealing with here? You know, what kind of animal does this to a person?
Officers have a body, but there are no identifying features. Right now, they don't know who the victim is or who the killer might be.
Police on the search warrant! Come to the door! We're gonna...
Okay, the tarp is laying on the stairs, about the last 3 stairs.
Come on down. Hands on top of your head. We're gonna call him right into that kitchen. Right? Hands on your head! What's your name? What's your last name? Your chance? He's not been searched.
He is not?
No.
After transporting Jared Chance to jail, officers begin a full search of the house, looking for evidence and possibly the remaining body parts. In the kitchen, a large brown stain covers the floor. There's no shower curtain in the bathroom. Small caliber cartridges are found inside the floor vents. And across the house, nearly every surface tests positive for blood.
Clearly, something bad happened and somebody tried to cover it up.
Just beside the stairs, there's a box. At first glance, it looks ordinary until they open it.
So I start to open the box and I see a black trash bag. I opened the bag and there were human limbs inside that bag. There are 2 legs and there are 2 arms and there are no hands and there are no feet.
Meanwhile, Ashley's mother arrives at Jared's home to confront him, with no idea of the horrors waiting just beyond that door.
We pulled up at 6 o'clock and the yellow tape was around Jared's house. I was screaming at the officer that was stopping us from going any further. And I'm telling him, my stepdaughter's up there. My stepdaughter was with Jared. And he said, ma'am, I can't tell you anything. And I said, well, her mom's right over there. And the only thing he could say is, go tell mom not to leave.
And I'm like, no, it can't be. It's not Ashley. It's not.
The remains are sent for DNA testing to confirm whether they belong to Ashley. And while everyone waits, there's only one person who knows the full truth: Jared Chance.
You need to wait just for a sec? We'll get your cuffs up, okay? All right.
Want me to take them off, the cuffs? Or...
Yeah, you gonna be decent with us? Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, Erica? I'll be right with you. Hi, Jared. We appreciate the fact that you came in earlier, and I'm sorry you got turned away.
Yeah, no, I just came in just because I read on Facebook that the last person this person was with was me, so I was just concerned and trying to get some information about it, but my dad just recommended me to just ask for the advice of attorney, and because I don't really know what the hell's going on, so I don't want to sit here and talk about shit that may incriminate me or whatever in any kind of way, because I don't know what's going on. So I just don't want to say nothing right now.
How many earrings do you have? No other piercings anywhere? No. Alright, come on up here, sir. Open up your mouth. Alright. Right over here, please. Are these screw in or they pull out? Alright, come on over here.
With Jared refusing to speak, detectives have no choice. They begin piecing together a timeline of events on their own.
We had phone records, placing them together, 28th into the 29th, and then seems the activity stopped, and her phone, in essence, just disappeared. But Ashley had been seen at a pub with Jared Chance here in the city.
By the time we found out that they were at Mulligan's, that video is gone. You know, local businesses don't keep all their video forever. But because of Kristine's doggedness, she had already seen the video.
To build a solid case against Jared, investigators combed through surveillance footage from businesses near Mulligan's bar.
So we did obtain video from a local business called the Pita House. And it's dated November 29th, and it's approximately 1:30 in the morning. It shows Jared walking in front of the business. There he goes right now, just kind of strolling along. And then, you know, a few seconds later, that's Ashley there. And once again, we see Jared walk into screen, and then eventually Ashley joins him.
We know clearly from the video that Ashley is still alive on the early morning hours of the 29th. It was crucial in trying to pinpoint what her final moments were.
Then investigators uncover another piece of CCTV footage, and this one contains crucial information.
Inside the store, we see Jared Chance purchasing alcohol and ammonia, a cleaning product. We suspected that some extensive cleaning had been attempted in the apartment, and then we just so happened to have Jared buying cleaning supplies that day.
And then on one of the videos, we see that he's approaching, and we see him put something into the garbage bin right outside the front of the business. And of course, that's of interest to us.
And that led us to then the dumpster behind the party store, which happened to have Ashley's purse in it.
At this point, officers are certain Jared killed Ashley. But until DNA confirms the identity of the remains, it's still just a theory.
Waiting for the DNA test was one of the worst times of my life.
I didn't want to believe, and neither did Chris. If this isn't her, then she's still out there somewhere. She's missing. So we're still looking.
Days later, the DNA results come back, and they confirm what everyone feared.
Ultimately, they came back a few days later and said that all of the evidence that had any sort of blood tissue on it belonged to Ashley Young. So we knew that definitively then that Ashley Young had died.
To strengthen the case, detectives need more. They hope Jared's cell phone data will point them to the rest of Ashley's remains. The data points detectives somewhere unexpected: Jared's parents' house.
Our interest in the parents was they were with Jared on the same day that we made the discovery of the body. The fact that Jared wasn't talking to us, we hoped maybe the parents would lead us, to some of the answers that we were looking for.
Officers arrive at Jared's parents' home, but they choose not to speak.
His father was a retired police officer, and he made a comment about, "I'm glad I'm not investigating this case, that this is a tough case." And I started thinking, how do you know it's a tough case? What do you know about this?
With Jared's parents staying tight-lipped, officers begin searching the property.
A sawzall was found in that house. There was tissue observed on the blade.
In the Honda CRV, which was in the garage, we found a small trace of blood.
They also located a bloody shower curtain that also was connected to Jared's apartment in Grand Rapids.
They weren't just silent, they were involved. At least that's what the evidence is starting to show.
It was a shocking revelation for all of us.
Within 3 to 4 hours, Jared Chance is charged with murder, and his parents are charged with being accessories after the fact in the mutilation of a body.
Now, detectives finally have a clear understanding of what happened to Ashley and how far others went to help cover it up.
Ashley was murdered in the kitchen and then ultimately dragged 10, 15 feet and put into the bathtub. And that's where he did the grisly job of dismembering her.
We knew that James Chance had been a police officer for several years, and he then retired and moved to Holland. Then when we found the evidence that we found, we were convinced that he and his wife, and probably Conrad, the brother, had knowledge of what happened. We learned that there were several items carried out of Jared's apartment and placed into Mr. and Mrs. Chance's vehicle.
They're literally loading in the Amazon box with their arms and her legs into it.
They were driving all around town. They went to the police station, they went to Costco, and then they end up going back to Jared's house, dropping him off and giving him back this box of evidence.
They clearly become people that we want to talk to.
I appealed to them as parents, trying to get them to consider how Ashley's family was feeling. And essentially I got very little.
But the biggest question remains, how do you go from casual drinks to murder and dismemberment?
I think he made a pass at her. That was my first instinct. And she rejected him. And then I think he killed her.
And you are someone who is a danger to society and should never be allowed free. Accordingly, it is the sentence of this court with regards to the second-degree murder that you be committed to the Michigan Department of Corrections to serve a minimum of 100 years to a maximum of 200 years. I am purposely doing this so that you will not be eligible for parole until you are at least 130 years old. Thank you.
After the sentencing, it was finally Kristine's turn. Her chance to stand face to face with the man who took her daughter's life.
You had no right to take her from me. Try 7 days a week. This is what's left of my daughter. If I want a hug, I have to hug a box and close my eyes. You remember texting me. I would never, never do anything to hurt her. I swear on my life. Do you remember that? Do you? Ashley was already dead and dismembered when you text that to me. I hate you. I want to rip you limb from limb and discard you like trash. Like what you did to Ashley.
Ashley Young was more than a victim. She was a daughter, a friend, a soul full of kindness. The kind of person who made space for others, who believed in second chances, even when people didn't deserve them. She mattered to everyone, because everyone mattered to her.
If they would tell us where the rest of Ashley is, we could bring her home. They owe that to her family. They owe that to her friends.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime stories that delve deep into the heart of the human experience.